Greetings, everybody. I just want to come on and share a quick word about doing what's needed. I was just thinking about a lot of times, we do what we want to do for people versus complying with what their needs are. It's like we could see homeless people on the streets and just pass them by and, just look at them as if they're nobody or nothing instead of asking them what they might need versus, just assuming that they want money because a lot of them are really hungry. And so it's like you got to use wisdom in dealing with people because, in my 14 years of ministry, I recognize that most people just need a swift kick in the behind and other people just need a hug. And so that's why it's so important to give people what they need versus what you want them to have. Because you could give somebody a swift kick in the behind when they need a hug, and you can give somebody a hug that need a swift kick in the behind. And that's what goes on a lot of times. We patting people and making them feel good in their mess. And so therefore they won't grow up and come out of that immature state. It's because we're so busy hugging them and loving them in their mess. Even though you should love everybody regardless of what state they want to be in, but God doesn't call for us to just sit there and mope with them in their mess. Because it's like God said, come as you are, not stay as you came. You know what I mean? So we got to know the difference. And it's like, these are the people that need a swift kick in the behind, the ones that we spending all this time with, the people that's always in the pastor face, pastor, this and that, and then you give them a word and tell them what thus said the Lord, or sometimes you didn't even have to tell them what thus said the Lord, just a word of knowledge. Get you a job. Then they back, well, pastor, I need this and that, not even just pastor, just people in general, because a lot of people are just looking for a handout. And so it's like, that's why it's so important for us to use wisdom in these situations, because everybody want to, give somebody a swift kick in the behind, because we trying to take our aggression out on somebody anyway. And so it's like, that's nothing to do. Everybody looking to put somebody down and make somebody feel less than, and so it's important, to give people, I think it's a song, got to give the people what they need. Got to give them what they want. But not necessarily give them what they want, but what they need. But sometimes what they want is a swift kick in the behind, but they reword it as if they need a hug. And so that's why you got to use wisdom again in that too. Because I learned you got to listen to what people don't say as well as what they do say. Because people will withhold information to try to make you feel sorry for them for no apparent reason. That's why it's so important for, like that dude said on, I think it was Friday. Where was your antennas? You know what I mean? So you got to make sure your antennas is up, and you know what I'm saying, and be on alert at all times. And so when giving people what they need, you have to be careful as well, because sometimes you could give people more than they actually need, and then so therefore they'll be back in your face again asking for something else. Like I heard something that said, when somebody say they're hungry, don't just give them some fish, teach them how to fish, so therefore they know how to accommodate themselves and do what they need for themselves. It was like a poor parent that would not teach their child how to be an adult and mature and know how to do life and understand that life is not all about handouts. And so it's like, do your child need a swift kick in the behind or a hug in this moment when they don't know? So basically, a lot of times it's us parents that need a swift kick in the behind for not raising our children the way what they should be raised. Like the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and they will never depart. A swift kick in the behind is training them up in the way they should go too. And even the Bible says, those who spare the rod spoil the child. And so, like I said, in all actuality, a lot of times it's us parents. We don't need a hug. When our children go wayward and do what they want to do and go contradictory to the way they was raised. But then again, it's like you have to look at the way you raised them as a parent. Were you specific in your directions and instructions when you was training up your child? Was you training them up in a way when you want them to do what need to be done over here, but then you want them to do what you want them to do over here? So now you confuse the child. And so now when they just get up in age and they're unaware of the straight and narrow path that you think you taught them on. That's incorrect. And so therefore now, like I said before, you as a parent need a swift kick in the behind more than the child, because you trained them up in the way that you wanted them to go versus the way that God, desired for them to go, and who God desired for them to be. So I just wanted to come on and share that real quick. Be blessed.